All right, we talked quite a bit about the whole Biden-Burisma issue. It looks like more extortion than bribery. But in any case, ask this question. How does Joe Biden's alleged shakedown affect the 2024 presidential race? All right, consider that. Let's ask Katie Pavlich, editor at townhall.com and Fox News contributor, and John Levine, New York Post political reporter. Kids, welcome on a Friday afternoon. I appreciate it very, very much. So I'm just dying to see this. These are allegations. I understand that, and I said that 100 different times today and before. But the level of detail is pretty staggering, especially when you go through Chuck Grassley's latest 1023. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Byron Donald said earlier in the show, it's like a Tom Clancy novel, very well crafted. But Katie, so now I'm visualizing a Joe Biden-Donald Trump debate. And Joe Biden starts getting on Trump's cases for January 6th or documents or whatever. You think Trump has a comeback now?
Well, the issue has always been Joe Biden with the bribery allegations, with the benefiting from foreign business transactions. And what we see with the FBI document that was released yesterday, and it wasn't released because the FBI handed it over, it was because investigators from Chuck Grassley's office got it from a whistleblower. The FBI went to great lengths not to have it released. It's an FBI official government document that corroborates a lot of what the House Oversight Committee has already found, whether it's going through and putting it in a bunch of different bank accounts so it's difficult to track the money, the shell companies that they say that they've found, et cetera. So when it comes to President Donald Trump asking Joe Biden about this, the question is, were you using your position as the vice president to sell out the country, essentially, by using foreign policy or domestic policy when it came to Burisma getting into the United States with their initial public offering? Were you abusing that for the sake of making your own family rich? And it's always been about Joe Biden claiming and refusing to admit that he was a business partner to Hunter Biden. He claims he never even talked to him about it. No, they talked. They were business partners.
In fact, as the Grassley document says yesterday, the head of Burisma tells the confidential source that it was Joe Biden who insisted Hunter stay on the board because he didn't think, right, he said, my dog is smarter than Hunter. But Joe Biden wanted him on the board. I mean, you can draw your own conclusions on that. So, John, though, the point is, might this affect Joe Biden badly before we get to any presidential debates? I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there. Gavin Newsom and others are looking at the race. The Democrats polling and not polling in favor of Joe Biden. What do you make of this?
Well, what Joe Biden is going to say is, show me the money. And the fact of the matter is right now, these are just allegations. It's a lot of he said, she said. And the House Oversight Committee is still trying to dig out the paperwork from the bank records. And they've said getting foreign bank records is very, very difficult to do. But I think I'll go back to an old D.C. axiom where the cover-up is worse than the crime. I can't necessarily sit here and prove to you that Joe Biden committed a crime. But what I can tell you is that he lied to the American people when he said that he's never had any involvement in his son's overseas business dealing.
Yeah, and I would say, too,
that's a key point.
That is going to be a central character issue that comes up in this race. And it's going to be, why did you lie about this?
Well, if he's lying about that, what else is he lying about to the American people? But I think President Trump and the left, they'll go after him and say, well, you were impeached. They impeached him over asking questions about this exact issue with Ukrainian corruption with the Bidens. They said that was inappropriate, even though he was gaining trust with President Zelensky and trying to figure out where this money was going. Zelensky was a brand new president at that point. He wanted to cooperate with the United States. And the fact that Democrats impeached him over asking this very question about this corruption, which is now all laid out in lots of different ways, including at the FBI. Because before they could say, oh, it's Republicans on the Oversight Committee going after him for political reasons. The FBI now
Trump is asking a question. Below that question is a powder keg. I mean, who knew? I mean, it's really quite remarkable. And he was impeached for that.
I know.
I mean, he was acquitted, but yeah.
In the background here is the FBI. What did they do when they learned about this allegation from one of their confidential human sources? It's one of those nagging questions that hasn't gone away. What efforts did they take to investigate that?
How do they?
Right now, they haven't. They've basically stonewalled. They haven't put out a good answer for why they never looked into these allegations.
This goes back, I mean, at least 3 years and could be as long as 6 or 7 years. How could they not have looked at this?
And it wasn't just that. It was the laptop, too.
Right.
I mean, there are so many things that they had that they didn't deal with.
You've got to bring in Christopher Wray under oath and wave this paper in front of his face and say, what did you do? What did your office do when you learned about this?
Ultimately, I'm thinking, I mean, here, Trump's trial has been postponed to, May of 2024. The Judge Cannon down in Florida, he probably will appeal that to try to push it back after the election, as is his right, and I think they should. Katie, I'm just thinking when I read about this whole thing, which I happen to think is outrageous, but whatever, eventually the jury here will be the American voters.
Right.
That's how this is going to end. And to some extent, Katie, I think that's just how it ought to end, because this whole thing is just so beyond belief what's going on, including now the latest January 6th. I know 4 days have passed, but nothing has happened, but something may happen.
Well, Democrats would love for the conversation to be, and it will be, if the trial does stay in May of 2024, all about Donald Trump. They don't want it to be about Joe Biden, his record, his inability to actually campaign. I mean, he's not campaigning now. They called a lid today at 2:15. I mean, he's nowhere to be found. So they would love for this to be the distraction. On the other hand, while it takes Donald Trump off of the campaign trail for a little while, all the media attention is going to be on him. There's no doubt that all the media is going to be covering this, and it just gives him more airtime when it comes to people paying attention to it.
And I'll just say a trial in May of 2024 is going to be exceedingly dramatic because it will come it'll be after Super Tuesday, it'll be after the early primaries.
You can't do this.
He could be the presumptive nominee at that time.
I know. I mean, probably there'll be a decision, right, in the party.
Then what are you going to do?
I mean, just
unprecedented.
Can't do this.
Yeah, I mean, what are they going to do? Put
Right.
the presumptive nominee in jail?
So the President of the United States is going to be trying to jail his his presumptive nominee opponent right before an election.
Speaking
He has a
of-
whiff
absurd.
of totalitarianism.
Yeah.
There you go. Speaking of presumptive nominees, I'm going to ask this of you, John Levine, but it really, Katie broke the story. New poll shows Vivek Ramaswamy is tied, am I getting this right,
Yeah.
with Ron DeSantis for second place in the 2024 primary.
No.
48% Trump, 12% Ramaswamy, 12% DeSantis.
The battle for second place is
What do you
really
think?
where the action is happening right now.
What do you
Look,
think
I
of
think
that?
he's like the Mayor Pete of this race, right? I think right now he's very, very young. He's a fresh face. He's articulate. I know he's on this network all the time.
Ramaswamy,
He's got
smart
a lot
kid.
of money. He's given himself, and I think a lot of voters are looking at this race thinking there's a lot of yesterday's news in this race, like people like Chris Christie and Mike Pence. And
Oh, God.
Ramaswamy is someone that offers voters
Chris
something new.
Christie and the George Washington Bridge. Katie, you get the last word because you broke the story.
It's just, it has to be bad for the DeSantis campaign, who's looking at all the resources they put out there, all the money that they spent. They're trying to regroup their campaign, and to have Ramaswamy, who has no political experience, come in and be tied, it's not good for them.
Yeah.
Katie Pavlich, John Levine.
Great
Thank
to
you.
see you, Larry.
Appreciate it.